Okay. So I'll tell you why are we discussing or taking sports as the very first topic of this mentorship session. Simply because, as I told you before, sports is the first factor, the most important factor that has helped me reach where I am today. And I cannot compare whether my position is, according to my definition of success, bigger or lower. But I feel proud of it, and the most part of it, I credit it to this aspect called sports. So I'll a little bit tell you about myself, then let's talk about you. Because obviously today we are not here to make this session about me, it's going to be about you. But you need a little bit background about why we are discussing this. So back in my fifth standard, my mom took me to a place where right below the building, there was a ground. So there were students there practicing martial arts. So my mom took me there. I was not interested in these kind of things as such, but when my mom took me there were students there, players there, and they were very excited, very enthusiastic, and they were happy, right? So that's when I got my first exposure to what martial arts really means, right? And that's how I got my admission in a sports called Taekwondo. So since then, 5 to 8 years forward, my first venture, my very first business venture was a sports. Give me a second. There are people still entering. So all the people who are entering late into the session, make sure it doesn't happen again, right? Because it's very difficult to take it back and explain you everything again. All right. So I'll tell you how sports helped in my business ventures. So my very first business venture was a sports related company called Revivo. Okay, Revibo. And it was a plan, it was planned to build a platform where you actually make all the sports people interact with all the sports professionals. Okay, so mute your mics, people who are entering just right now. Make sure your mics are muted because it's a disturbance for everyone. Yes, Mel, make sure your mics are muted. Okay, perfect. So Revivo was basically a platform where you take all the sports professionals and put them their IDs. So for example, you have Instagram, right? So you put on your face, your credibilities, so people come to you, interact with you. Similarly, Revivo was a social media platform strictly, exclusively for sports professionals. Now, all the students or coaches or people who are in need of sports can approach there and approach them. So the revenue model was, so let's say you're a sports professional and you're on my company Revivo, and another student is coming to you. So let's say if you get this student as your student, and if you're charging him 25K per month for your training purpose, our commission was 5% out of it. So this was the revenue model of Revivo. And I dragged it for a year or so, and I made like 30 to 40K per month. That was my earning. That was my earning when I was in 12th standard, right? So that was in few years, like that was just few years back. So for me, sports was the factor that just did not spark the spark the fire in me for entrepreneurship and business. Sports was something more as well. All right. Sports taught me what it is to be like a team player. Now, the whole point of telling you this is there will be things and people telling you all the importance of about sports in your life. But what if right now, right here itself, you make a decision that you will include at least one sports in your life? And sports does not mean games, and it certainly does not mean gymming, right? So everyone talks about fitness. Okay, so the maximum thing, men and women both talking here, attending this session, the maximum thing that comes in your mind when people talk about fitness is, yes, I go to the gym, right? But gymming and fitness is completely different than sports. It is just a part of it. All right. Now, what is sports? Maybe you're a cricketer, maybe you're a badminton player, right? Maybe you're a footballer, Maybe you're a tennis player, basketball, whatever sports you like, you have to pick at least one sport and put it in your timetable that you will somehow attend to this sports thrice a week. I will tell you why. So after this revival, right, I used to go for tournaments. I used to send, yeah, is it audible now? I hope my voice is audible to everyone, right? So I used to go to tournaments. I used to send my students to the tournament, right? So somehow I pushed my income from 30 to 40,000. So initially when I got a student, it was just 5K a month, but 5K wasn't bad. For me, 5K was like 5 lakhs because that was my very first income. So small or big didn't matter to me. And somehow I knew that sports was a way for me to integrate my passion as well as my income. Now, here is a thing for you to learn. There was, if there's anything that you're really passionate about, okay, and if it can bring value in someone's life, there it is definitely, you can definitely monetize it through a business or through anything. You can definitely make money out of it. So first thing is you need to find out what's your passion, and don't go with all the things, and all the people who tell you consistently that this is your passion and this is what you're supposed to stick for the rest of your life. They call it as, they compare passion to your boyfriend or your girlfriend, right? So just because you made a boyfriend or a girlfriend doesn't mean you're supposed to stick with them for the rest of your life. Things change, right? Things change. You never know what will happen to you. You never know what will come in your life. Things change, time changes, opportunities changes. Passion is the same thing. You do not have to stick to one thing for the rest of your life. Trust me, it is completely okay if you are passionate about something right now and you are not passionate about it 1 year later. That's completely okay. Now, you were at a part where I built this Revivo thing, and all of a sudden, I was inclined towards, I understood basically the potential of value giving. The more value you bring to the table, the higher are your chances of making money. That goes in business, employment, relationships, life, everywhere. So, in the end, it comes down to how much value are you bringing to the table? What value or what sort of change or impact you're making in someone else's life? Based on that, they will value you. Now, what is the meaning of value? Based on that, you will be getting paid in your life. Sometimes you'll be getting paid through money, sometimes you will be getting paid through opportunities, favors, and you know it, right? So, sports is the one factor. So, let's not take it as a motivation session, or where I'm telling you the importance of sports. You have plenty of people to tell you the importance of sports. So today, if you decide to yourself that is there anything I like in sports sector, that that I can actually do it thrice a week. Maybe it's playing cricket with the boys below your building. You don't know, like whatever sports it is. And mind you, it is not gymming. Sports is something that should bring you fun, that should that should involve people in your life, that should you should understand how to build relationships. Okay, so what is that one sport that you think you are really passionate about and you can include in your weekly schedule at least thrice a week, right? So some of you are working professionals here, and some of you are employees, some of you are business people, some of you are just students, some of you are dropouts doing nothing. Yes, so we have all sorts of people here, and the only reason that we all have gathered here is simply because we want to change something, right? Be it anything. So today, if I bring just one change in your life, any small change, I would feel this today's session was worth it, right? So there's only a point that I can tell you. Beyond that, you have to go and do it, right? So what is that one sport that you can actually schedule in your timetable, that you can actually do it thrice a week? All right. Now, there is one big factor that sports will bring in your life. And I'll tell you this. When I started doing business, Revivo passed, I started, my interest from sports started going. Like I was into sports and all sorts of things, but I wanted something more. I wanted to, see the world, explore more people, talk to people who are like-minded. So for that, I knew that I had to increase my income, because the level you are right now, you will always find, so as they say, you are the average of all the five people you hang out with, period. Right? So if you look around, you know who are the five people most you hang out with. Maybe it's your mom and dad, maybe it's your boyfriend, maybe it's your girlfriend, maybe it's your kid, maybe it's your brother or sister. No offense, but how successful are all of these people? If you want to be the average of all of these five people, you hang out with them. If you want to level up, if you want to increase your income, see better people, you need to find a better circle. Right? So at that point of time, when I was done with Revivo, when I was moving on to a phase where I wanted to see more people, because I knew that at this level, I have outworked everyone in my circle. Right? Now pay attention to this. This is a very good feeling. Now you know that you are hanging out with a certain kind of people. Maybe it's from your friends, or maybe it's from your family, or maybe it's from your professional environment. And at one point of time, you just open your eyes and you realize that this is it. I think I'm doing better than most of these people that I'm hanging around with. Then what is the point? Do I want to spend the rest of my life just like this? Just hanging around these people and bragging, and they know it, because I had a friend circle at that point of time in Mumbai. I'm originally from Mumbai, so I had these friend circle. So whenever I used to hang out, I used to feel that my vibration, my wavelength is here, and my friend's vibration and wavelength is a lot below than me. Right? So eventually they also got to know the way I used to talk, the way I used to walk, the way I used to talk about the things. Right? So you always have certain common things to talk about your friends, to talk to your friends, certain common topics. But eventually your vibration increases, you get a lot productive, you just become different all of a sudden, and your friends will be the first to note it down. Your friends will be the first to point it out to you. They will come and tell you, you don't laugh with us the way you used to do before. You don't talk about the same topics. You don't enjoy talking about the same topics you used to talk with us before. And then you're like, oh, really? So when these things happen, these minute things happen, like consider this as a sign from the universe. It's telling you that it is time for you to level up. Find a circle who is doing better than you. Find a circle who is earning 10 times more than you. Go to that circle, talk to them, be friends with them, have wine with them. Yes. And when you start earning more than them, leave the circle, go to a better circle. Right? So, a part of life, what has taught me that I want to tell you guys here right now is, you should know the importance of ditching people at the right point of time. Like I told you, you don't know what is constant. You don't know what is constant in your life. And I'm not just talking about your partner or your parents or your friends or your career or your passion, right? You never know what is constant in your life. So do not label it as, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, right? So it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to shift your focus to, go out there and do it. Life is too short to not do it, right? So take it as a video game. I don't know how many of you play video games. I've played Uncharted. I've played let's say GTA. I don't know how many of you can relate to it. There are a couple of games like this. So one thing these video games always teach us is playing is fun. So once you cross one level, you go to the other level, it becomes complicated, becomes difficult. But then it's still fun for you because you take it as a challenge. And why? Because even if you lose, there is no friends, there is no family to laugh at you that you lost, right? So there's no fear of opinions or judgments. You just go out there and play, and you play because you enjoy it. And because you enjoy it, and then you play, you actually win, right? Because you enjoy it, you win. Life and relationships is the same thing. So, coming back to the topic where we were talking about, you should know the importance of ditching people at the right point of time. Trust me on this, relationships are very important, but you should know what people to have in your team, to have in your inner circle, and what people to not. And once you upgrade from that level, make sure you're going to the next level and keep on doing so. So, if we had to, let's say, wrap up or conclude this, there are a lot of things for you to take out of it. But one single thing that I would like to highlight here is choose a sports and somehow you fix it in your schedule thrice a week. Because come taking you back to the same phase where I left Revivo and I wanted to seek something more, wanted to do something more. There was a lot of fear of judgments and opinions. And there was a lot of depression and anxiety as well. At that point of time, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to focus on, or what I should be doing was to live in the present. So what is anxiety basically? It's worrying about what happened in the past, what is going to happen in the future. So to avoid all of these things, the solution was to live in the present, to enjoy it, right? And that's what got me back to sports again. At that point of time, I started playing football. Now, football was the one sports, where since I had a martial arts background, I was good for running and all. So football was something I was picking it up, right? So that took me out of my anxiety and depression. And the football sports taught me that, it's not always about the result. It's also about the fun enjoyment that, gets you along with. And the same thing I applied it for my business. So after Revivo, there were a few here and there startups by me, and starting up failing, few freelancing stuff doing here and there, failing again. Then before I actually came to IVIT, there were a lot of startups like this. So throughout this phase, the one constant thing that I learned from sports is you play it because you enjoy to play it. Winning is always a priority, but mostly you play it because you enjoy playing it. If you do business or if you do professional stuff or if you live your relationships or build your relationships with the same mindset, the mindset of actually enjoying it, enjoying the process and not focusing on the results, trust me, you're going to win in every part of your life. So let me know what is the one sport that you would want to just include in your timetable and somehow go through it. And this is also one part, as we are growing up as adults, that is one part that will always keep us young. And creativity and youth is the one thing that you always need to make money. You should know how to take spontaneous decisions, spontaneous things. You should know how to plan and execute. So all of these things and a lot more things you will learn only through sports. So not to talk about the compound effect of it on your physical wellness and all. So all of those things are there. So that's all, I guess. Let me tell me what is the sports that you would want to involve, or that's something that you. Yeah, so we have some comment sections, or yeah, also tell me if you have any questions, so I'll take it up pretty quick. Right. So someone has said bike stunting. I used to procrastinate about this, but from now on, it will start it for sure. So yeah, that's the thing about sports, right? It reminds you why you have started a specific thing in the first place, right? So if you struggle something in life with a particular task, if you struggle with, maybe it's a tough job for you, maybe whatever job you're doing in your life, it's tough, the work environment is not that encouraging, maybe your family is not supporting your business, maybe your family is not supporting your decision to shift your career or maybe drop out of college. So irrespective of your path in life, sports is the one thing that reminds us, why we do it. Why have we started doing it? Have we really lost that spark to enjoy life? And sports, if you do, no matter how old are you right now, sports, if you do, it will bring you back to that question. Why am I doing this particular thing? Why have I started it? I started it because I enjoyed doing it. If I'm not enjoying it right now, what am I really doing in life? So once you start asking these questions to yourself, that is the start for you to upgrade to the next level of your life. I hope I hope the way I talk, most of you are getting it, all of you are getting it. I can only hope. So we have a lot of comments coming in: boxing, football, kabaddi. That's great. Running. What else? Badminton, football and swimming, shooting, basketball. That's right. That's great. I'm starting an e-commerce business where I'll be selling performance car parts. Any advice? Yeah, I'll come to that part. So how this mentorship session is going to be for you. So today was just, we were talking about a topic. So weekly we'll have two mentorship sessions, one of which we will talk about a topic. And the second is, if there's someone in this batch who wants to talk to me or about anything related to business or personal or profession, anything related to career guidance, okay, you can just text me on Instagram, and accordingly we will arrange it in these mentorship sessions, right? So one person has asked here for e-commerce business advice, so you just text me, we will arrange it. All right. I'm pursuing CA, but I want to establish an online business, but I cannot give it time to it because of my studies. I cannot make a decision what is better for me. Yeah, I understand how difficult it is to do something else, especially when you're pursuing CA exams, correct? So for CA and all, you have to dedicate a lot of time. But if business is something that you really want to do, you will find a way. Maybe even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes a day, it's fine, right? So that's all, I guess, for today. There's no point pondering around the same thing again and again. The whole point of this is, the whole point of this whole mentorship session is, it will really make an impact if you decide yourself today that I will include at least one sport in my timetable for at least this coming year. All right. So whatever the sports is, you have to ask it yourself. You know yourself. Correct. So if you do that one thing and just let me know if you really did it, I'll be more than happy to know about it. So even if today at least one or two people are actually taking this session, not just as a motivation or conceptual session, but actually implementing on it, actually adding a sports to their daily timetable, then I would call this mentorship session as a successful one. All right. So do you have any further questions, or shall we wrap it up? Also, make sure you tag me on Instagram and let me know what was the one thing that you liked about this session most, or what is the one thing that you have really decided to implement or you have implemented, right? So tag me on Instagram. I'll mention you guys back. Do we have any, how do you stay motivated? Well, there's no motivation when you love what you're doing, right? So whatever I'm doing right now, whatever my profession is, I love what I'm doing, so I don't really need the motivation to do it. So some days, there will be some days obviously that I don't feel like doing, but then what really makes me do it is, again, at the end of the day, I ask this question to myself: do I really want to just lay around on the bed, or do I really want to go out and complete this task? And in the end, when things get really hard, it's your, again, passion only. If you're really passionate about it, you'll just push the excuses aside. So, which book are you currently reading? So I actually read multiple books at a time, but the book that is actually taking my attention is The Innovator's Dilemma. I don't know if you have heard about it. The Innovator's Dilemma, where they talk about sustainable revolution versus disruptive revolution technology. Yes, we will be taking a lot of books also. Since I read a lot of books, I'll be taking topics to discuss here. Whatever I learn from the books, it'll be really fun for all of you people who never read books. So that's there. What else? Yeah, I don't trade actually. I don't trade. How to be more focused on good things and not focus on shit? Meditate. Distance yourself from people who you think are negative. As simple as that. It's all about the people at the end of the day. Are you feeling shitty today? It's because you met a shitty person. Are you feeling good today? It's because you met a good person. As simple as that. To feel good, be around with good people. If there are no good people in your life, be alone. Right? If you feel shitty, stay away from negative people. As simple as that. Even if it takes for you to, just lock yourself in a room, doesn't matter. So sometimes parents can also be negative, right? Their intention is perfectly well, but they can be negative. So you have to protect your vibe. You have to protect your wavelength. No one is going to do that for you. All right. BDP or MBA? BDP all the time. I already spoke about my first business, Mohammed Mashoom. Don't join late the next time. I think we'll wrap it up for now. Okay, so let me know on Instagram what you did learn or pick up from this mentorship session. Tag me, I'll mention you back. And let me know if you want to talk to me in the next mentorship session. We'll have a proper one-on-one where you'll speak and I'll just talk to you, will interact, and everyone else will listen as well. So whatever your queries, or let me know if there are any specific topics that you want me to cover in these marathon mentorship sessions. I'm open to that as well. All right. So have a good day, everyone. Do something today that will take you one step closer to your income goals, right? Bring one small change. One small change is all it takes. Okay. So, yes, thank you.